Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Milton Spence, and this is my channel, Creative Milk. I just wanted to come before you guys today to discover something with you. It's called the power of patience. And one thing I was looking up here on my phone is just kind of thinking out loud of like what I want to talk about, how I want to do this thing that we call YouTubing, and how I want to come to you guys when it comes down to delivering information. And one of the things that came up was the patience of faith, was patience and faith, the power of waiting on God's hidden work. I know for a fact that a lot of us out here have a hard time believing in God with a number of things that are going on, especially what's happening in Israel right now, especially what's happening in different parts of the country, hell, what's happening in the United States in particular. And I know that that's tough because when we talk about God's work, when we talk about how God is, and when we talk about the faith that we must have in order to follow God, it has to be one of those things that not just we believe in, but that we have faith in order to see through to the end. And I have to say this in particular, that I know for a fact firsthand how tough it is to believe God through and to believe God is going to do something when it comes down to my faith. I know for a fact what it is to walk blindly. I know what it is to not necessarily know or not necessarily understand exactly where your next help is coming from. I know exactly what it is in order to feel bewildered and not feel like you can trust, not feel like you can go left or right. I definitely know what that feels like. But I also know the power of patience. And the reason I know the power of patience now is because most of the time in my life, considering I have two small kids, I've had to remain patient. I've had to remain patient in times where necessarily I want them to understand something that, of course, in my old age, I feel like, well, I get it, but I have to take myself back to where they are in order to realize, okay, I must also have patience. So that's kind of what I wanted to get into at this moment, is to let you guys know that in order for you to have more patience in your life and to wait on God, it's because you have to put yourself in God's shoes, looking at yourself from the outside in. Looking at yourself at a position where you say, well, I know that we always believe that I'm asking for this blessing. I want this thing to happen. This is supposed to happen now. Why is it not happening? Well, if you were to really take inventory of your life, and if you were really wanting to be honest with yourself, would you say that everywhere that you are right now, as far as how you are mentally, physically, spiritually, in every form of fashion, are you ready to receive exactly what it is that God has for you? If you cannot answer that honestly and say that you're ready to receive, then you have to understand that God will be doing you a disservice by giving you something that you're not ready to take on. I know for a fact that many of us have this ability and have the knowledge, and have knowledge enough to understand what it is to be in God's good graces, what it is to have everything working your way, and then what it is to feel like, well, where is God now? I know that we all have that. So because we all have that, I believe that we can all come to an agreement and say, is it always that God is not blessing you or not looking out for you? Or is it that you're not necessarily ready? And the thing is, some of us believe we're ready based upon the factor of emotionalism. If we were honest with ourselves, we could say, I'm emotional right now. I'm upset right now. And that's why I actually want the blessing to come, because it would take away the factor of the feelings that I have. And I know that most of us can attest to this when we talk about it and we say it's money. Money is what would drive us to, feeling like, if I just had, that's what we are. I can personally tell you that on a physical sense of things, mentally, am I ready for every blessing that I know is stored up for me? Well, no, I can personally tell you that. Can I also tell you on the other hand that I wish that I was ready? Yeah. And as cheesy as that sounds, I know, as cheesy as it sounds, I want you guys to know one thing. When it comes down to being ready for your blessings to come through, when it comes down to being ready for what it is that you actually want in your life, you have to give yourself some grace and say, I am ready for this blessing. I am ready for this certain thing. I am ready for this to happen. But realistically, I have no idea what it would take in order for me to take care of that said thing. I have no idea what it would take for me to be truly ready for said thing. I don't know what I would need to do in order to be really, really, really ready for said thing. Now, if you're the type of person out there right now who has, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're the type of person out there right now who has gone through the fires, has gone through the tests, the trials, and the tribulations. And you've heard people tell you to hold on. You've heard people tell you to, wait and be patient. And those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. I know that can get tough. I know that can get super hard because you are the type of person who you are, quote unquote, doing all the right things. You're doing all the right things. And still, you're like, God, you still don't see fit to bless me. You still don't see fit to give me this thing or do this thing for me. Y'all, I can't even stress enough how much I'm proud of you for even hanging on. I can't even express how proud of you that I am just ecstatic that you are giving God the opportunity to even bless you, or believing that God is enough in your life to give you the thing that you're looking for. The power of waiting, the power of giving God his due, the power is that you step back and allow God to be in the driver's seat and take over. So that way you are no longer trying to depict, disintegrate, dissect, and give yourself a disingenuous relationship or operation when it comes down to your walk of faith. The reason why we have to remain patient is because the faith that we need in order to go to the next level, in order to go to the level above that, is going to be built here. Most of the time, your faith walk is to prepare you for where you're headed, not just where you are. It's not that your faith walk can't prepare you for where you are, I just said that, but it's more so bent upon the factor of where you're headed. Because where you are headed takes such a level of faith, it takes such a level of belief that you yourself don't have the room nor ability to doubt. Because if you really, really, really want to go high in Christ, if you really, 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 really want to go high in God, you have to understand that takes a level of faith and belief and overall strength and test of will that it is beyond anything you have ever experienced in your life. Like, when I say beyond anything you've ever experienced in your life, I mean beyond anything you've ever experienced in your life. Well, you'll never be able to go back to doing anything that you did before where you didn't have a level of faith that takes you to the next level, that helps you with the next level. There's a lot of us right now who look around, especially now, there's a lot of athletes who are on television, on your social media platforms, and people who have extreme abilities to do certain things in life. Can I tell you that it took nothing but hard work for them to get there? Now, I know there's your cases of people where you don't feel as if it took hard work. But let me tell you the truth. If you honestly had a faith walk where you put the work in, where you put the effort in, where you put time in, the hours in, the minutes in, the motives, the changing of the minds, the changing of the hearts. If you did all of that, there is no shortcut to your victory. There is no shortcut to whatever it is that you really want to be blessed with. The difference is when God takes you in your faith walk to another level, no man can push it down. Nobody else has any rights to it. The reason I'm drawing a parallel to an athlete online is because athletes have the ability for a time, and then it goes down, it diminishes. The difference is you have the ability, if you build it up in faith, forever, because you can always draw back on the times when you didn't have the faith, when something at another level of your faith walk is challenging you. So can I challenge you to wait? Can I challenge you to be patient? Can I challenge you to do something with your life and be honest with yourself, and don't fret just because it's not happening your way? Remember, life has never happened your way. And the reason you know this is because you didn't decide the day you were born. You were, and now you are. So continue to be, you are, and continue to walk in your faith walk and allow God to take you to different heights. Much love, y'all.